Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing a one-shot, macro-to-micro breakdown of Uttar Pradesh. We're going to unpack the sheer scale and, frankly, the incredible complexity of India's most populous state.
Look, we hear about UP in the news constantly, right? Its political weight is completely unmatched. But how well do we truly understand the internal mechanics of this northern giant? Let's dive right in and find out. To keep things moving, here is our roadmap. We'll start with geographical location, look at the size of its districts, trace the historical development and capitals, break down administration and representation, and finally, look at state symbols. Okay, Section 1, Geographical Location and Extent. Let's fire up our 3D India map and start our zoom-in approach to look at UP's actual physical footprint. Just look at how this 3D map anchors UP's vast scale relative to the rest of the country. It sits between 23 degrees 52 minutes and 30 degrees 25 minutes north latitude and spans 77 degrees 3 minutes to over 84 degrees 39 minutes east longitude. It's an absolute geographical giant. You can literally see its massive dimensions hovering right over the 3D landscape, a staggering 650 kilometers across from east to west and 240 kilometers north to south. Moving to Section 2, Size of Districts. Zooming in a bit from those outer borders, let's see how the internal areas actually compare to one another. The contrast here is honestly staggering. Up at the top, you've got Lakhimpur Kheri, the absolute largest district by area. Compare that to the smallest district, Bhadohi, also known as Sant Ravidas Nagar, which comes in at a tiny 1,015 square kilometers. It's crazy to think about the physical extremes that exist just within this one single state. That brings us to Section 3, Historical Development and Capitals. Stepping back from the physical geography for a second, let's trace the actual timeline of UP's identity. Now follow this timeline with me because it's fascinating to see how many times this region's name evolved. Back in 1836, it was known as the Northwestern Provinces. Fast forward to 1877, they added and Oudh. Then in 1902, it became the United Provinces of Agra and Oudh. They finally simplified it to just the United Provinces in 1937, before officially becoming the Uttar Pradesh we know today on January 24, 1950. And you know, the seat of power didn't exactly stay in one place either. In 1836, the capital was stationed in Agra. Then, following some massive historical shifts in 1858, it moved over to Allahabad, which is present-day Prayagraj. By 1921, there was a partial shift to Lucknow, and then Lucknow finally became the full permanent capital in 1935. We absolutely have to talk about its modern reorganization, too. After an initial reshuffle on November 1st, 1956, a major geographical split happened on November 9th, 2000. 13 entire districts broke away to form Uttaranchal, which was later renamed to Uttarakhand in 2007. And the wild thing is, even after losing 13 whole districts, UP still remained an absolute behemoth of a state. Okay, Section 4, Administration and Political Representation. Let's zoom into the internal political gears and look at the immense structure it actually takes to run this place. The administrative breakdown here is just massive. 75 districts, 18 divisions, and 350 tehsils. Managing all of that requires a deeply established communication network. That's why Hindi was adopted as the official language in Devanagari script back in 1951, with Urdu joining as a second official language in 1989. And the map is still evolving. Notice the ongoing proposal to create a 76th district, which would be called Kalyan Singh Nagar. Here we've got a clean breakdown of the bicameral legislature, meaning, of course, that it operates with two houses. For the Vidhan Sabha, or Legislative Assembly, there's a massive 403 seats. And crucially, out of those, 84 seats are reserved for scheduled castes and 2 for scheduled tribes, ensuring vital representation. Then, for the upper house, the Vidhan Parishad, it operates with exactly 100 seats. Now, if you want to understand UP's unmatched political weight in India, you just have to look at its parliamentary representation. It holds 80 Lok Sabha seats, including 17 SC reserve seats. That is the highest of any state in the country, which literally shapes national elections. The Rajya Sabha adds another 31 seats. And locally, the variances are pretty wild. Prayagraj holds a maximum of 12 assembly seats, while districts like Shravasti, Mahoba, and Chitrakoot sit at the bare minimum of just 2 seats each. Adding one more vital administrative layer to all of this, 8 specific UP districts are part of the National Capital Region, or NCR. We're talking Meerut, Ghaziabad, Ghatam Budanagar, Bulandshahr, Bagpat, Hapur, Shamli, and Muzaffarnagar.
These districts tie UP's massive economy directly into the pulse of India's capital region.
Which brings us to our final section, number 5, state symbols. For this last zoom in, let's explore the local cultural identity through the state's official symbols.
These symbols actually tell us a lot. The state animal is the barsinga, or swamp deer. But look at its IUCN status. It's classified as vulnerable, which is a stark reminder of the real ecological stakes in the region. And sharing the spotlight, the state bird is the majestic cerris crane, locally known as the crouch.
Rounding out the state's cultural identity, the state tree is the ashoka, paired with the state flower, the polish, or tesu, which is just famous for its super vibrant colors. And finally, reflecting a deep-rooted athletic tradition, the official state sport is field hockey. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. How do all these dense layers, the massive geography, the shifting history, the complex administration, how do they all blend together to forge the modern identity of India's most pivotal state? When you truly grasp this unmatched scale, you have to wonder, how will the internal dynamics of Uttar Pradesh continue to shape the very future of Indian democracy? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.